Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We're Here Again. Another week begins. My name's Carl Maloney, and we're here with an amazing guest, Katie Owen, for another episode of the RGM Experience podcast. Hi, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good. Still a bit hangover, 2-day hangover after the Wales game on Sunday, but super buzzing over that.
Well, what better way to congratulate Wales reaching the World Cup finals after 64 years, mate? I've seen all your socials. You look like you had a good time.
Oh, I DJed the after party for the players, and it was a very messy one. My voice is only now starting to come back.
So how does it feel? Like being a passionate Welsh person. Knowing that you're going to be in the World Cup finals now, how has it all sunk in yet?
I just cried on Sunday when the final whistle went, because obviously you're still tense and it was a tough game. Like Ukraine, bless them, they played their hearts out, and it was a very nervous game. So until that final whistle, I couldn't really relax. But yeah, it just feels surreal. Like obviously the last time was 1958. I'm just over the moon.
Yeah, no, I don't blame
you. Super excited.
It's going to be brilliant out there. What was the feeling amongst the players at the Aftershow party? After that, I can imagine it was a bit carnage,
It was, complete carnage. Everyone was dancing on like tables. There was like Jaeger bombs everywhere. It was just a great atmosphere. Everyone was on top spirits, and it was brilliant.
Any funny hijinks that you could share with the world? You don't have to mention names.
No, everyone was just dancing on like tables and stuff. I got a bit too drunk and lost my laptop, but you know what? No. It was worth it getting Wales through to the World Cup. So I'm hoping I'll find it in the club, in the venue we're at, but at the moment I don't know where it's gone.
Oh, bless you.
I know.
Well, Katie Owen, DJ, presenter, personality. You've been on Radio 1 recently. A big ambassador for Wales. Move over, Rod Gilbert. You're the next one, it looks like.
Yeah, I did covers on Radio 1 like 2 years ago. BBC Wales, like kind of like football shows. I've recently learned to speak the Welsh language. So a lot of like football, Welsh language, and music.
Was 2 years ago then?
Yeah, pre-lockdown. It's flown by.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just wanted to, I've seen you. I had the pleasure of saying a quick hello to you once down when we were in Manchester, and Tom Grennan were playing Little Jimmy's, the old venue. This is England people were all there. It was a good night, and you were spinning some tunes there. What made you start to get into being a DJ and music in general? Just talk us through a bit of background on how you got into it all, please, Kate.
So I've always loved music. I've grown up with my family are very much into like the Beatles, Oasis, the Kinks. That was always massively influential on me. And I started DJing about 5 years ago. I played for This Feeling in a club in Cardiff, the Moon Club. And I would just play a Spotify playlist because I didn't know how to DJ. And then they were like, oh, do you want to play at a White Festival? So I was like, yeah, go on then. When I didn't have a clue what I was doing, completely winged it. And I've been winging it ever since.
So how have you developed as a DJ from admitting yourself that you were just blagging it a bit and then doing it? How have you got better at it? What things have you put in place to get better?
I feel like because I was just thrown in the deep end, and then I started doing DJ sets in clubs around London, and it would always be like a massive panic, and then I learned how to properly beat match and work out all the techie side of it. So it was just putting yourself out there and being in those situations where it's either sink or swim. You've got to do it. And obviously I love music. So I knew the music I wanted to play, I wanted to share with people. It was just getting the decks.
Just getting the buttons to do what you want them to do type thing.
Yeah, I've mastered it now, thankfully. Well, I should hope so.
Fair enough. So, before DJing and music, when you were just growing up, has music always been something that you've always had your eye out for?
Yeah, I've always been massively into music, football, that kind of. I grew up into that kind of mod subculture. So I love like Quadrophenia and This Is England, all that kind of stuff. So I've always loved music, and I studied musical theatre in college, but I can't sing and I can't dance. So the next best thing was DJing, just pressing the button.
Oh, okay. So how did you like get involved with the moddy type scene then? Were you influenced from parents or friends?
Yeah,
family?
definitely an influence from parents. My dad, my stepmom were big into, like Fred Perry kind of.
Yeah. Has he got the hair? Your dad? Has he got the
he
indie hair?
He used to, but he doesn't now.
Bless him. Okay, fair enough.
No, he's clinging onto his hair, but he's not got the mod haircut. But so yeah, I've always grown, been heavily influenced by, the music and the subculture and the fashion. It all kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. I think you kind of like when music grabs you and you don't really know that it's happening until it's too late sometimes. And you just end up part of, the music scene out there and just enjoying how many opportunities are out there and just how much fun it can be just being in and around music people. It's great, isn't it, out there? Yeah,
100%. It's lovely. It's like a proper scene.
Yeah. Where's your scene? What kind of where do you? I don't mean where do you knock about? That sounds weird. I mean, what would you class as your scene?
So I live in London now. I've been there for 5 years. I come back and forth Wales all the time. I'm in Wales at the moment. I'd say a mix of like I'm in obviously like the backbone of what I'm interested in is like the mods, like Britpop kind of indie scene. But then I also like current chart, like a few current charts and like modern day fashion. So I tend to like take little bits of all of them and mash them together. So I kind of go in and out of them all, really.
Yeah. And do you delve into like grassroots music, like unsigned bands and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I love all the unsigned bands. Go into watch upcoming gigs and bands. It's really lovely.
Yeah. What kind of bands are or because we like to specialize in supporting grassroots music. We do cover the bigger bands and that kind of stuff in festivals and tours on the magazine. But we do really specialize and only want to specialize in grassroots music because there's so much good stuff out there, so much fun to be had, so much trouble to be made out there in the industry, and just there's just so much great potential out there from bands that just seem to be on the cusp of something at the minute.
Yeah, I love Red Rum Club, Megan Wynn, Trampoline, Snuts. There's so many great upcoming artists out there. Yeah,
we had Megan on the podcast previously. Yeah. And she's playing my stage at Tramline's Fringe in Sheffield. She's playing my stage.
Amazing.
Well, so I love Megan.
I was with Megan last week for Neighbourhood Festival.
Oh, okay. How did you get on? Have a good time?
Yeah, we went out afterwards and it was a bit of a messy one.
Yeah.
We were in the Uber and she was sick, but luckily he pulled over and...
Fair enough. So just while we're on Megan, how much of a sensible head has she got on her in regards to her music career? She seems like she's got the world at her feet and she's just having and loving every minute of it. I love seeing that. The artist from just starting off, she's relatively young compared to me anyway, and she's just got the world at her feet and she's just she's got her head screwed on, hasn't she, that one?
Yeah, she's a great talent and I know she's gonna do really well and smash it.
Yeah,
like 100%.
And any other ones? So you mentioned Trampoline there. Yeah, they're doing great things.
Trampoline.
Club, they're flying now, aren't they? Red Rum Club.
Yeah. There's so many. I'm trying to think. Who else? Red Rum Club. Trampoline. The Snuts.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, like I saw them play from like smaller stages and more to second main stage and doing really well. The Laphams is doing really well at the moment.
Yeah. Have you seen Spangled?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to check them out.
I'll chuck Spangled at you. My mate here in Manchester They just seem to be going from strength to strength. They're doing a lot of. Are you Isle of Wight with this feeling? Are you doing?
No, I'm not doing Isle of Wight. No, not this year.
They're doing that. No, is that this weekend? I can't keep up with it all. Me, is it next weekend?
It's sometime this month.
They're doing all the festivals, and they're doing the same stage as what I've got with Megan in Sheffield. I'm doing a Fringe festival. I just love the guys. I just think they're great, and it's such. When you work with a lot of bands, some bands can be a pain in the arse, some can be an absolute pleasure to deal with. You always see the nice, pleasurable ones go further, which is just like a lesson in life, isn't it? It's just
just be nice.
Just be nice on your way up, because you don't know who you're going to meet on the way up and that kind of stuff, isn't it? Have you seen or experienced anybody like that you might have seen on the way up that's changed? Has music changed anybody that you know?
No, I remember I met Red Rum Club when they first were on the festival scene, and they were like genuinely like the nicest lads.
They still are too, aren't they?
Yes,
I'm on the podcast, just great guys.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say anyone I've met this, but then as well, like if anyone's rude to me, I wouldn't really speak to them again.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
I wouldn't really associate myself with them. So
okay.
But yeah, like the Red Rum Club, they're really lovely, and they've like remained really, really nice.
Yeah.
Which is great to see.
What I think is always a good kind of lesson is just to get out your comfort zone. And the music industry has different pockets where you can investigate and do your own thing, and by putting yourself out your comfort zone, opportunities come your way. So you've been DJing, supporting Kasabian, you've got your radio shows, all that kind of stuff. How do you see your career going at the minute? Because you seem to doing and specialising, and you're presenting for Sound On as well. I've seen some of them videos, good, cracking stuff. Those videos are amazing. That they're bringing.
They're great. Sound On.
So you seem to be doing everything you can possibly to progress and just to get your name out there. I think it's great. How do you see it going? Welcome.
Yeah, I'm just doing what I love, and that's work. Music, talking, and meeting new people, and then obviously sports. I want to get into more sports kind of presenting.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think that's more so like the long term aim is get into more sports presenting.
Over DJing, or?
Yes, I still love DJing, and I want to do that. It's like a long term thing, but for me, I want to really delve more into sports.
Yeah.
Not playing, because I'm not.
Yeah.
I wish, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a door I want to open, and like a road I want to go down in the future.
So how do you? Because I've presented a few things over the years, and there's a knack to it, isn't there? And it's a lot easier to do when you've got a bit of a personality yourself and you've got something about you. How do you prepare before you present something yourself personally? How do you warm up to it? Or
it is hard. Like you've got to, because you've got to be yourself when you're presenting, but then you've also got to remain professional, and there's certain.
That's where I've been missing out. I've been forgetting to be professional.
So you've got to kind of be yourself, and I suppose just be warm and positive.
Well, what I've found is kind of know your audience a little bit. If you're
definitely,
there's got to be kids around, so you've obviously swearing's not going to go down well. Just in general, if you've got a bit of a mind that can just ping pong and go all over the place like I have, you've got to learn how to control that and stick to.
Yeah, same as me.
Yeah. Do you find that too?
Yeah, and I tend to, when I first started, I would just waffle on about my dog or something completely irrelevant, and then I was like, I don't think anyone wants to hear about what my dog had for dinner, but.
Well, people do like that kind of stuff. That people like to see and investigate what goes on behind the scenes of stuff, and that's kind of what I like to try and delve into. No matter what kind of how I don't know, mundane it might seem, all the behind the scenes stuff. I think people are fascinated in these days, and interviewing as a technique has changed over the years too. It used to be, you used to see it all where it used to be throw 10 questions at an artist, like trying to be daft and silly, and just a really quick interview over like 5 minutes. That used to be a thing for a bit in interviews, but I feel like it's changed. And one of the reasons why I like to have more conversations rather than just, chuck some questions at you is just have a chat about stuff, because more people invest in the person that way if they get to know you a little bit more. That's kind of how I see it.
And I feel like it's more natural. The conversation flows more organically. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest taxing interview that you've ever had?
Biggest taxing?
Or it was hard work, or it's you had to work harder than what you would have normally?
No, I'm touch wood. I've always interviewed very very nice, chatty people, thankfully.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mean if somebody's been like harsh back in an interview. I mean, like, I'll give you an example of, this might give you a better idea of what I mean. I interviewed John Cooper Clarke for a podcast, and he doesn't use mobile phones or anything like that. So I couldn't set him up to do like a video call. And my missus said to me before, she's, he's like proper, like, right intellectual, and he's going to see straight through you. I'm just like, oh, right, thanks for that. Because it really clever people intimidate me, because I just think I'm not kind of worthy, or I don't have the confidence to like open up about things sometimes. So those type of experiences get you out your comfort zone, but they make you better at doing it, because you're stretching yourself and you're going for it, and you still, you're still having those conversations, and at the end of it, we spoke for about an hour.
Really?
And it was one of my favorite conversations I've ever had with anybody after shitting myself a little bit before going into it. So
I find that though, when you're dreading something and you do it, and then it's usually you really enjoy it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. The more reward, it's more rewarding sometimes, isn't it? When you
definitely.
You're proper out your comfort zone.
I'd say, more so when, so the first interview I ever did was with Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics, and obviously I'm a massive fan. So I was like proper cacking myself, and I had like my notes in front of me, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
But he's such a lovely man, so it went well, but I was still like, my first interview.
How long ago was it that you interviewed Kelly?
4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
4 years ago, yeah. And that's the one I'd say I was, and it was my first interview with someone. It was Kelly Jones, so I was like,
It's different when you're a fan, when you're a massive fan of them as well, isn't it? It's hard to play cool.
Yeah.
Who did I have? Horrendous. Oh, John McClure. When I first started the magazine, and John McClure from Reverend the Makers.
Oh, I love John.
I love John, but because it was one of the big interviews, one of my first big interviews. It was just like,
easy.
It's hard not to be a bit of a fanboy, because he's a Sheffield lad like me, and I'm just like, I'm excited but petrified at the same time. But it kind of all sorts itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
They're just normal people, aren't they? And you can kind of, put yourself or get into your own head a little bit sometimes with presenting and speaking to personalities.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to just like see it. They're people. Just chat to them like you chat to one of your mates. Obviously, not that casual, but
yeah.
There is a line. But
you're going to know more about them than what they know about you, aren't you? So that's another skill as well, is not being too over familiar, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's so much to it when you think about it, isn't there? It's not just stood there with having a laugh at a festival.
Yeah, it is. There's more than that.
So how do you prepare now compared to like how you did with Kelly 4 years ago?
Now, obviously, I do my research. I don't script it anymore. I like bullet point it and then have it like in my pocket in case. But I just do my research and like you said, like just have like a more conversation with them rather than question.
Yeah. And I suppose radio helps you as well, doesn't it? Live radio.
Is
that scripted, or how do you plan for those type of things?
Same thing, really. Bullet points. I used to script it, but you could hear that I was reading from the script because I was so nervous. I'd script it also. Now I just bullet point it and it flows more naturally.
Yeah. What kind of tips would you give people, just inspired by your journey into things? What kind of tips would you give people to crack on and, be half as good as what Katie Owen is?
I would say put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to throw yourself in the deep end. You're going to get rejection. You're going to get setbacks. Take it on the chin. Keep going and just enjoy it.
Great words. Just get yourself out of your comfort zone and just the music industry is the hardest industry.
It's brutal.
Particularly, and just being, just seeing bands get rejected all the times for festival slots or whatever, or just anything. Life's a big hard slog, and the people that work hard at it tend to crack on and have, and achieve more things. I don't know what my point is, Kurt. I've got it.
I agree anyway.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So what was it like to get the phone call from Radio 1 then? Just talk us through that kind of experience. That doesn't happen to many people, mate.
So I remember, when I did it, I felt like I was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. When they rang me, I was just I was speechless. I was like, and he was like, "You're not saying much to a presenter." And I was like, "I don't know what to say. I'm just, And then I went in,
did they just hear you work on Welsh radio and things then? Was it, or what?
No, so
apply for it, or how did it manifest?
It was a competition to cover shows on Christmas time, and I entered it. Didn't think anything of it would come of it. I sent in a demo, and then they rang me and said, "Oh, you've gotten through," and I didn't expect it because I didn't hear anything back. And I remember when I went in, I felt like I was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
So what kind of, is it like when you're in the studio, is it completely different to a local BBC studio? Is it as technical? Did you have to practice on stuff before, or did that?
Oh yeah. I'm very forgetful. So they had to stick stickers on the desk and be A, B, C, because I kept forgetting which one was which.
And did you get a lot of time to do it? Was that a nerve-wracking experience? Just talk us through.
Oh yeah, very nerve-wracking. That's the one I scripted it word for word, and then you could hear that I'd scripted it. But I feel now I've got more experience. I know not to script, just get your bullet points and be more relaxed.
Yeah. So from all these things that you're out there in the world doing, which one's your favorite? Which one do you just think that makes me the happiest?
I'd say all of them really. I love the music. I love DJing. I love presenting. All of them.
Yeah.
I just genuinely love doing all of them. I'm really enjoying doing more Welsh language stuff at the moment because I've only been learning for 3-4 months.
Okay.
So, that's something I feel proud about doing. I get excited speaking it and practicing it.
Were you not taught? Did you go to school in Wales?
Yeah, but I went to an English speaking school.
Okay.
So they only teach you numbers and colours, not how to have a proper conversation. And obviously, because I moved to London, then I didn't speak it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, and DJ and supporting Kasabian, the new look Kasabian. I think they played the first gig they did in Sheffield. I think that might just because I'm from Sheffield and I noticed it. What was it like? Was it Leeds?
Glasgow, I think.
Glasgow. Oh, God, I'm way off.
I think.
I could just remember seeing all the dots and the new stage that they've got, and Serge being up front there on his own and just absolutely smashing it from all the socials and stuff. How was the feeling around the band under a new kind of, they've got the wings in the back again type thing? How did it feel being around the lads?
So I've grown up as a massive Kasabian fan. Yeah. My dad said when he went to parents' evening in school, the teachers were laughing. I was about 10 because everyone else, they'd written who's your favourite band? And everyone else had written Spice Girls. And
Yeah.
and Busted, and I've written Kasabian. So I've been like a massive fan of them for years. So when I was asked to do it, it was like a real pinch me moment.
Yeah.
And I know they say like don't meet your heroes, but they were genuinely the nicest people like I've ever. They were just like would always like make a fuss and like, how are you? And we just really loved it. I couldn't have asked for lovelier people.
Serge still owes me a packet of fags.
Does he?
Yeah, I went to watch Oasis in America, and Kasabian was supporting them. And we went to see Oasis at Hollywood Bowl, and Jet and Kasabian were playing. And then the day after, we were in Vegas, at Mandalay Bay. They played a really small, like arena type thing. I think there were only like 3,000 or 4,000 people in this room. And then me and the lads, we went out just getting pissed and that all about. And we came back to our hotel, and what's that over there? That's Serge. That. So he was there with his manager, just in casino a bit, just having a drink. So we popped over and said hello, and he invited us in, warm arms. You know, we had a drink with him for a couple of hours, and I gave him a packet of fags because he'd ran out. And I can't echo enough just how much of a nice guy he was. You know, it could have gone the other way. You know, we were pissed. We could have been annoying. Like we get, but you know, he was just having a good time. He was open to just having a chat with us and just talking about football and pissing about and just doing, you know, what you do when you're out and about. Great personality and such a good front man as well now.
Yeah, I think he smashed it, and I really enjoyed it. And he's a great guy.
What's it like when you come back from a tour like that? When you're back? Get back into your room and everything's all quiet again. How do you adjust back to the real world again?
It's weird because I went from like being exhausted, like DJing like every night for like 2 months, and like being exhausted and being like, oh, I'm so tired. And then like the day I came back, I was like, I don't know what to do now. I feel like I got like festival blues.
Yeah.
I got those tour blues.
do you do a little bit of work on the side to make ends meet type of thing, or does the things you do cover what you need to do? That kind of stuff. How do you manage life?
I worked in Fred Perry for a while in the shop, and then I ran social media for a brewery company. But the past year, I'd say I've been fortunate enough to just DJ and like do presenting work now.
Yeah,
but it's taken 4 years.
Well, so you're big into marketing and that kind of stuff. We had Rick Leese, who used to be in Twisted Wheel on a previous podcast. He's big into marketing, and he defines marketing as making shit look cool. How do you define marketing stuff?
It's just trying to make stuff look eye-catching and like relatable.
I'm fascinated by it because as RGM's grown and I'm trying to make it look more professional. And rather than pay someone, I'm learning myself all these new things and learning how to do After Effects and all the Adobe stuff. And I've learned that from scratch myself, just from YouTube videos. And I think I'm getting there, but I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just know I'm getting better at it. And somehow I'm learning marketing without really, without really knowing about it. You
can do there's like a lot of free courses on Google. And all that kind of stuff.
And what kind of, I don't know. As a marketer, I'm just interested to pick your brains on how you go about, making things better. What goes on in the Morris head?
So I ran the social media accounts for them. I know it wasn't very good because I'm not doing it anymore. But
okay, fair enough.
And I don't know. I have a clue how to do like any Photoshop or anything, so I would just like run the schedule, like post the captions, all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I've got a clue.
It's hard work. We use an app on RGM and schedule posts go out at certain times because you can't just post it out in real time because you've just not have a life. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's same for bands really. It's all the the boring stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you kind of have to do these days with social media to get your name out there. And I keep seeing your name all over the place, just you're out there having fun at festivals and doing what you're doing. But so you're doing a great job, and I just wanted to thank you for joining us on the podcast and just let you know that you are things are let you know if you're appreciated. I think that's a bit bad. I didn't mean that. I just let you're doing a great job.
Oh,
and it's not going unnoticed by people you might not know personally.
Thank you for having me on as well.
You're very welcome. Is there anything coming up for Katie that you might want to share with the world, or for people that like your work, just a little message? Maybe for the people of Wales that are going to the World Cup now?
So I'm DJing the game against the Netherlands tomorrow. And I'm DJing the cricket, the 100 in Cardiff.
Wow.
Few festivals, and more so like more Welsh language work.
DJing a cricket match, how does that work?
So they've started doing the 100 cricket. So they've got like bands playing, and they make it like a massive event of it. Yeah, so they've got like in England, Scotland, Wales, and it looks really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, nice one.
Just a big piss up.
Yeah, fair enough. And are you allowed to drink yourself on the sly?
Yes, sometimes. I try not to too much because I'm a bit of a nuisance.
Fair enough. And a message for the Welsh community, the country of Wales, after all these years of not being in the World Cup. In Welsh.
In Welsh, Dewch ymlaen Cymru. Dwi'n teimlo proud a anhygoel. Bantoni Qatar.
Brilliant. Welcome, Wales. Well done on the World Cup. Love it.
Croeso. Welcome, Wales.
Oh, bless you. Well, Katie, mate, I really appreciate your time this evening. I know you've been out celebrating the Welsh victory, and it's really appreciate your time. I'm sure I'll see you out and about. I'll pop
definitely.
I'll pop a pint in front of you one day, just say hello, and really appreciate your time. And thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.